Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. You guys know what this is if you're watching this video. This is the mag for the MCX and the Mpx by Sig Sauer. However you want to pronounce that name. Anyways, let's get on with this and have some fun, shall we? So y'all know these things come with belts, and you can buy extra mags with extra belts, and that's pretty cool. So I've definitely got an extra clip and extra belts, that's for sure, and I'm really enjoying that fact. I think I might have to buy some more just straight out belts if I can though, because I get about 250 shots on my gun, so I'd like to have enough belts loaded just for that, and then I can say, okay, there's one bottle gone, now let's go grab another gun. Anyways, I've read some stuff, I've watched some videos. I've only seen one video so far where somebody's talked about jam-ups with these things. But I also read a post this morning where a guy had made a comment because someone was looking for, about a new air gun, right? Like, what should I get? All right. Well, some guy had talked about the MCX or the Mpx, same clip though, right? Virtually the same gun in many ways. Anyways, he said something about jam ups, and I thought, I know what's causing this. One of the things that's very important when you buy your gun is this little tool. Okay. This comes with your MCX and your Mpx, right? Now, it's got basically three tools in one. You've got your front forks, which is for your elevation. You have this back piece that's like a little flat-bladed screwdriver for your windage control. This is for your open sights that come on the gun. This is the most important part right here. That little piton is your pellet seater, and it is made to an exact precise depth so that you can seat the pellets into the belt properly. So when you load this thing, the little metal rings go down and facing down onto the table. You load your pellets, you push them all down with your fingers so that they're flush. Then you go along with this tool and one at a time push them all the way down. Okay, this tool is incapable of over pushing your pellet, right? Now, that is definitely going to help cure a lot of your jam issues. I have never experienced a jam. And I do run Crosman pointed pellets in my gun, though I don't know how accurate my gun is yet. I fired off 250 rounds in it last summer, and I had a heck of a time getting the sights to line up. It's a new gun for me and everything else, right? So I'm kind of like, well, that was a lot of fun. I think I got to spend more time lining up the sights or throw a scope on it. So I put a scope on my gun, and I still have to line it up yet this year, okay? I don't shoot that gun a lot. And, I've got other guns, obviously. But I bought the gun because I thought, this is a really mean-looking, cool gun. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, that sort of thing. And, I have discovered that, yes, it definitely is a lot of fun. As fast as you can pull the trigger, you can empty this 30-round clip, and it is a hoot, right? But if you're going for accuracy, of course, you have to definitely concentrate hard on the right pellet, because your pellet gun will choose the pellet that it's going to run the most accurate with and with the most amount of power at the same time. So I would avoid heavy pellets in this gun, because even the US version is rated for over 500 feet per second, and I'm Canadian and makes no difference. I have the Canadian version, which is for non-PAL, so we don't need a license for this sucker. Okay, and now we've also got the Mpx as well in Canada as a non-PAL, so I don't know if I pick up the Mpx, so I'm kind of really happy with this. It's got the longer barrel anyways. It can generate a little bit more speed, and longer barrel is also more accuracy, so it's kind of like, it's whatever you're into, right? But anyways, nonetheless, the MCX is more my kind of a gun because it's big and beefy, and that's what I like for guns, right? And I like the cool, SWAT-y look of it. It's like a SWAT rifle. But anyway, so this tool is very important. The length of your pellets is going to be another issue. So even if you have the tool and you know how to use it, and you're not having the problem there, it could be the length of your pellets. Now, Crosman pointed pellets are not going to jam up in this gun. Wad cutters, especially Crosman ones, would not jam up in this gun. Domed will not jam up in this gun. Okay. However, if you're using a longer than normal pellet, like a rifle pellet in any of those combinations, yes, they have the tendency they can and will likely jam on you. So you have to make sure that you basically use pistol pellets, okay? So, and the majority of your 177 stuff is actually pistol size for the lengths. Okay, so definitely your Crossman pointed, your our RWS hobby pellets are going to be fine. Oh, there's so many brands of pellets, man. I can't even remember them all. But you're definitely going to have a lot of pellet choices out there, whether it's domed pointed or wad cutter, okay, or even hollow points that are going to be just fine as far as length goes. Where you could get into the problem is if for some reason you want to put like a predator pellet into this thing. Don't do it, because even the shorts can actually have the tendency to actually push themselves out, okay? Predator pellets are a lot stiffer pellet, okay, with the lead. So when you are pushing the pellet into this, okay, into the skirting area where your skirt's going to go against the grooves, that lead is not forgiving very well, okay? So a hard lead pellet of any kind, even at the right length, can give you problems where it can actually pop itself back out while it's in the gun while everything's rotating in there, okay? Because this is the kind of belt where the two ends actually meet when it's in the clip, and it just continuously rotates forever, right? So softer lead pellets are definitely going to be the ideal pellet. So when they get pushed into place, this will keep the form of the skirt proper at the back end, even of those softer pellets, but the teeth will also be able to grab that pellet properly and hold it in place so that it cannot come backwards on you, all right? And it's definitely not going to fall forward on you because there's enough pressure there of the design too that it's not going to allow the pellet to move forward. If anything, it could move back. So the softer pellet would be more idealistic, and predators are not soft lead, okay? And I would probably avoid your lead-free pellets that have plastic skirts. Don't use them on a gun like this because plastic is plastic, and plastic against plastic, it's not helping you any. It's going to defeat you, and it can cause jam-ups. So these are just a few things to avoid having jam-up issues that can take place with this gun without using this tool, or even with using this tool, having the wrong type of lead pellet or the wrong length is going to definitely be an issue as well. Just because this whole thing is deep doesn't mean you get away with using a long pellet in it. There's a reason why they make this thing the way they do, okay? And it's not so you can use really long pellets, all right? Now, some of the videos I saw, they weren't using this tool. And maybe it's because they didn't realize that this is what this little baton thing is for, but that's exactly what it's for. Do not lose this tool. If you lose it, good luck adjusting your elevation on your sight, because this is a special tool for your front sight on this end here. And of course your back, it really wouldn't make much difference, but you know, because it's like a flathead screwdriver, but that's what the back end is for. That's for your rear sight, for your windage control. But this is for your pellet seeder. So if you did not read your instructions far enough, go back and read them, because that's what that's for. Now, if you've lost this tool for any reason, get yourself a new one. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to, you know, email Sig Sauer, or, you know, give them a call if you can and say, hey, I lost my tool, I need a new one. And while you're at it, get a couple of them, okay? This way you can keep some in safe places, all right? Now, as far as this tool goes, though, you know, some of us would keep it in our pocket. We might lose it out of our pocket. I'm thinking I'm either going to go through one of the sides here so I can also not damage any part of this tool, or I'll probably go to the bottom of the forks and drill the hole, and I'm going to snake either some kind of a wire or a really super heavy-duty string that's not going to break on me, and then this way I can hook this up to a carabiner, or maybe have it somehow installed on the rifle. I don't know. I haven't figured out quite how to do that, because I don't want to lose this tool either. However, in the meantime, if you've really looked into your Sig Sauer gun a lot, you'll notice that on the handle for your hand grip, the bottom end, this handle has two purposes. Take your tool or a flat object, this pops open. Now that leaves a lot of storage space in there. One use I found really good for this is dump a whole whack load of pellets in there and then close it up, and now you got a boatload of extra rounds. Now you can't fit a loaded belt in there. I tried, so take my word for it, ain't gonna happen. But you can certainly take a whole whack load of pellets, dump them in there, go out in the bush with this thing, and have a boatload of fun. You just got to have something to reopen that thing with. The other option is, if you're not going to use it for that, at least you can use it to store the tool. But then you still got to be able to get back into that little slot, because you're not going to do that with your fingernail. You got to have like something like the tip of a knife blade, or I've got something like this off of a flashlight. I can pop this right into the back. You know, so one way or another, you got to carry something with you to open that cover back up, whether you're storing ammo in it or storing this tool. Either way, that's another way to keep the tool safe. So hopefully this answers a lot of people's questions as far as pellet jamming, what can cause it, how to fix it. The biggest thing is watch the length of your ammo, okay? That is definitely a big thing to watch, because even if your ammo is a good length, generally it may seem to be a good length, it still may be too long, because you have to have a certain amount of depth of that pellet to be able to grab the inner little, there's like little slots inside that come up against the pellet to hold it in place. If the pellet is like too long at the front and you got a really super short skirt, it's not going to hold it, and the pellet could actually go backwards on you, and that could cause a jam up. But like I said, I've used pointed pellets in this gun so far. I've had absolutely no issues with pellets falling out backwards or forwards. None of that sort of thing. No jam ups at all whatsoever, so that's been great. So anyway, there you go. So this is part of your thing right here. Do not use a pointy object, okay, like a piece of wire to seat the pellets. Why? Because you're going to damage the pellet. There's a fair amount of pressure that goes down when you push the pellet down to get it seated, and you can easily damage your pellet. You could easily damage the skirt. This is designed in this conical pattern so that it does not damage the skirt, and it helps when you're putting the pressure down to get the little ribs inside to actually groove it into the sides of the pellet. So this is going to give you your best accuracy chances and so on. Now, one last thing I'm going to say, because I didn't want this video to take 20 minutes. One thing I noticed on my gun, you might want to check yours. I was sighting in the scope actually with a bore sighter, and I know my bore sighter was super tight inside the barrel tubing, so that wasn't the problem. And I was still having jump ups, and I checked, and there's a little smidgen of play. I mean, it's a smidgen, but over the course of 20 feet, that smidgen could be 2 inches or 3 inches off course. Check and see if your barrel is super tight with absolutely no wiggle. And the best way to find that out is put something down the barrel and just give it just a gentle wiggle back and forth and see if the barrel moves at all. I haven't figured out how I'm going to tighten mine up yet. I still got to investigate that a little further. But that can also cause inaccuracy problems, of course, in your gun. So no matter what other steps you followed, and you've got no jam ops, and it's definitely, your gun does shoot some of your ammo is really accurate. If you're still getting flyers happening, the flyers may not necessarily be at the fault of this or your belt, but it could definitely be the fault of your barrel. Has just a smidgen amount of play in there of shake, and that little shake is definitely going to happen. Every time you fire that gun, there's pressure going down the tube, there's a pellet barreling out of there at whatever speed, and that's causing vibration and wiggle like this, and even a finite amount is enough to throw your pellet off at the other end, which is going to make it also a real pain in the neck to sight your gun in too. So we're going to see what kind of troubles I end up with, but I want to see if there's a way to tighten it. And right now I can't even find a diagram on this gun for a teardown. Any videos that are out there do not even get into this sort of subject with these two particular rifles, so we'll have to see what happens. But that is definitely another thing to affect accuracy, is any kind of play in that barrel. That barrel should be stiff as nails in there. So we'll figure it out over time, but in the meantime, that's the info I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the video, got a lot out of it, and don't lose this tool. And if you did, get a hold of Sig Sauer and get yourself a couple of replacements, and then this way you won't have any more issues with having an improper tooling makeshift idea to get these pellets seated, because even just pushing them straight down ain't gonna hold them in there. They will jam your gun, And this gun is a real pain to try and get this clip out if you have a pellet that's hanging half out the back where it shouldn't be. So anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks.